Hey Kurt,
Yeah, buddy.
there's a new pony in town.
There's definitely a new pony in town.
The Anderson Kiger, I believe that's how it's pronounced. It is a racing horse, if anybody's wondering what it's named after. It's a Mustang. Takes Glock mags, and as you can tell, it is a Glock 19 style gun, Gen 3. So, new pony in town. Anderson has added a new pony to its stable, and it's based off one of the most popular platforms that have ever been designed.
Absolutely.
So it is a Glock 19 Gen 3 platform, but they've added some features that make it more modern.
Absolutely. And guys, you know, there's been a number of different companies who've built similar handguns out there. I mean, again, you can look at the PSA Dagger. You've even got kind of the Arex Delta. It kind of falls in that camp a little bit.
I agree to disagree on that one.
It's similar, right? Again, but they're building off a very tried and true platform with a lot of the same parts, you know? So you gain a lot of things from that. But like you mentioned, Anderson really kind of came to the table and they built off of that and they made some really unique improvements.
Well, first and foremost, the improvement on there is it's using a Gen 5 slide geometry. It's using a Gen 5 crown barrel. So it's taking what Glock kind of improved on and has stepped it up into that very popular Gen 3 platform.
Absolutely. The other thing you gain from that is they've done a really interesting combination where you do get compatibility between the two.
Well, let's not get too ahead of ourselves on that one. So let's talk about slide barrel. Slide is 416 stainless steel, barrel is 416 stainless steel, and Anderson is known for their quality in their steel and how strong it is. So you've got good heat treat, good steel quality there. So this thing is meant to run and be abused.
So one of the unique features you'll find in that barrel is the fact that Anderson did go with the polygonal rifling like Glock does. A lot of aftermarket barrels you'll see are just going to be standard button rifled.
Right, and they are going back. So they're doing a Gen 5 geometry and everything like that on the barrel, but they're going back to the polygonal rifling that Glock has done away with. So it's kind of cool to get the best of both worlds, because that Gen 5 is a barrel that everybody likes, especially with the recessed crowning. And now they've gone to that polygonal rifling that everybody liked from the older Glocks. Now, there is some ammo incompatibility. As you know, lead cast bullets cannot be fired through polygonal rifling. It does cause leading, so that it could be deemed a negative point, but you do see the increased accuracy and durability from standard rifling.
And that being said, I mean, I think we all know that in terms of 9mm, FMJ is pretty much the standard. It's almost hard to find just, you know, soft tip lead nose, you know, bullets in 9mm. Yes, they're out there, but again, it's not the standard, and it's certainly not difficult to find FMJ.
Now, the other thing they improved on is the frame. At first, we weren't a big fan of the frame because feels very blocky.
Yeah.
But the texturing is just in every right place, and when it gets in your hand, it doesn't want to move.
So here's my thing, is when we were handling it, you know, in the office, and it kind of first initial impressions, I'll be honest, I did not like it at all. I really didn't. It felt really, really blocky to a degree that it was honestly uncomfortable. And then we shot it, and it just works.
Well, the texturing is right in the right places. So the slide, or the frame itself, has the grip panels, the kind of sandpaper on the sides. The rear and the front of the frame will have these slits that are going horizontal, but then they've got memory pads where both your thumb should go, which is really nice, because I don't remember a pistol lately that we've shot that's had the memory pads. And I know that most of them have the memory pad in the front. Not many have it in the rear.
I noticed that too.
Or it's one or the other. And with both of them there, the gun just feels great, and it's a good spot to put your thumbs when you're doing that forward thumb shooting position. Not only that, but they've got front and rear slide serrations, and they are Glock style sights. So they can be replaced with a whole bunch of other different sights that are on the market.
And that is, I think, a really big piece to this gun, is the fact that you do have so much compatibility. This gun just runs. It just runs. I mean, there's obviously a huge market for aftermarket Glock parts, and everything is pretty much interchangeable with this. I have yet to overrun it. I'm trying, and she's keeping up, man. This is a really, really cool setup. I really appreciate what they're doing with this thing. Now,
the other thing they did DLC coating on the slide. So it's gonna be a durable coating on it. And they've done some like lightning cuts. It's hard to say. They just cut out the top of the slide just enough. It's weird because it looks like there should be an RMR cut on there or an optics cut, but they didn't go with that just yet.
We were talking about that quite a bit, and the fact that in today's day and age, when you look at a lot of pistols, pretty much that's sort of becoming the standard, is to have an optics cut. And the fact that it doesn't, it kind of stood out from the get-go for us, I think, a little bit. That being said, they are really trying to hit a price point here, and it is very aggressive for the package that they're offering.
Now, that saying, you said that there's a price point, and there's kind of two ways you could get rid of, get the price down. You could either defeature the design, or use a less expensive parts, and they really didn't do either.
Right.
They just cut where they could cut to be a pistol for launch. So it's their first attempt at this, and a lot of companies on their first attempt on a new product, especially a handgun, will not do a slide cut for an optic right away, just to see and test the water, because you don't want to put all that added cost. Again, that cost, from Kurt and I's background in the machining side, you're adding another $50 to $60 worth of cost.
Easily.
You've got to pass that cost on to the consumer, and you got to pay your guys. So you're looking at least 120 to 150 bucks added on top of that.
And it's one of those things that it doesn't seem like it should cost that much, but it really does. I mean, you've got the machining time of the slide, and then you've also got to make the plate cover as well. And it doesn't seem like that should take a whole lot of time, but it really does. You've also then got to deal with, the machining for the screw holes, and then the bosses, to hold the optic on. And then you've got to do the engineering to say, all right, what optics are we gonna be compatible with? How do we handle that? Are we doing a plate system? There's a lot that goes into it. And so the fact that they didn't include that on the first gen it makes sense.
It does make sense. Before we go any further, let's go ahead and throw it over to specs for those of you who like to deep dive. So Kurt, we mentioned it's a Gen 3.
Yep.
So what did we do? We Gucci'd one.
We definitely Gucci'd one.
So we got in contact with our friends over at True Precision and Night Vision. So they got us a slide, barrel, night sights, and then our friends over at Swamp Fox threw over a Kraken for us to try out. So we've taken this Glock and Gucci'd it out. So now you've got your standard and your Gucci, and that's the big thing with this pistol, because it's got aftermarket support built in.
Right.
We were able to do something really cool with it.
And I think that's the biggest selling point, honestly, for this gun. And what I appreciate about this, and you can find other, you can find similar pistols out there. The price point that they're coming in at allows you to put that money into other things. And so the fact that it doesn't have an optics cut, that's really not that much of a negative for me, because it is. There's so many aftermarket slides out there. There's so many aftermarket barrels. I've tricked out a number of Glocks myself, okay? And I priced out the last one I did. All told, it was about $2,800. Now, I'm fortunate enough that I can, get industry discount, so I didn't pay that because I can't pay that. But, I mean, that's really what it comes down to. And somebody's like, why would you spend that much on a Glock, right? Why don't you just get something, out of the gate? Well, what I appreciate about it is, again, you don't have to do that all at once.
No.
You can do it over time, and you can upgrade it as you go. So if you decide, hey, I want a new aftermarket slide, you can do that and then continue on. If you want to replace the barrel, you can do that. Same with the trigger, same with optics. There's so many options, and again, it's something that, hey, if you have the means to do it all at once, go for it. If you do it over a year, that's fine too. As we shot it and we broke it in a little bit, it got better. Here's the other thing I'll say. Again, when I first got it in my hand, to be 100% honest, I was kind of underwhelmed. I'm just gonna be honest, right? Then I shot it. Recoil impulse is really nice. It's a low recoil impulse. It feels a lot like a G19. The Kiger shoots as flat as my Comp 19, and I will stand by that. Reset is very, very similar as well. You've got that crisp reset, comes right back on target. It shoots really flat. There's a big difference between kind of handling a gun, you know, in the store or whatever, or dry firing and actually shooting it. And once we actually shot this thing, dude, this pony runs.
Yes, it does. And
She runs.
And it wants to run fast. And that's why, you know, for those of you who are asking, what does Kiger mean? Kiger is a Mustang. It's a type of Mustang. So it runs like a Mustang. Fast, powerful, just go boom, 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 boom. And you can see that from the range footage. We just kept driving and boom, 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 and just kept shooting, shoot faster, faster, faster. It does not want to be shot slow. You can get quick follow-up shots. It's great.
So John, we took both of these out to the range. We shot them both extensively. We've got our stock version, and then we've got our one that's really tricked out. So which one did you actually prefer?
At the end of the day, I actually preferred the stock version, and it had nothing to do with the way either of them shot. I felt like there was a little bit more felt recoil in the True Precision slide setup. I don't think that it had anything to do with the gun itself. I think it was all perceived in my head. And that's what it really is, because then I would swap back and forth, and while we were out there, I was like, no, I really like the Gucci one. No, I really like the stock one. And that's the best part about this. I can trick it out if I want to, and I can leave it stock if I want to.
Mm-hmm. For me, honestly, not as a cop-out answer, I like them both, and I like them both for different reasons. I like kind of the purity of the stock setup, mostly because Anderson honestly did an amazing job of this, because it's such an easy gun to shoot. Now, I do lean toward the tricked out one, just because, again, I like to build them up. I like to do those things, right? Is there some more tuning that I think we could do on this? Absolutely, and I think that's really where, you know, a setup like this could really shine. So I like them both for different reasons, just in terms of you know, overall shooting and how well I could basically run either of them. They're pretty similar, honestly.
Now the other question is, did we have any malfunctions while we were out there? Because, you know, these are Glock, they came with PMags, they come factory with PMags.
Yeah, just a note, they do each come with one PMag. So.
One PMag and a soft case in a cardboard box, so it's very standard, you know, generic stuff and on that. But we ran it with a number of different Glock mags. We ran it with an ETS 33 round mag that we blasted through because we could, and it was fun.
America.
for sure. We had one failure, and the one failure was user error. So I went to go rack the slide back on the tricked out one, and at first we thought it was, you know, parts wearing in, parts compatibility. No, I smacked the optic with the back of my hand while I was racking it, and I kept it from going into battery. Just a little tap to the back, and boom, we're back off to the races. So it wasn't anything malfunction-wise. Everything it ran through, we ran a lot of SAR 124 grain through it, MagTech 115, and some PMC.
Again, everything ran flawlessly. We didn't have any issues at all whatsoever. And I think that really does, for Anderson to really come out of the gate, and this is, you know, for all intents and purposes, their first handgun.
Yeah.
I couldn't honestly ask for more. With a great price point of where they're at, and really a solid platform and a solid design, I've got nothing but good things to say about this.
Well, speaking of good things to say, Kurt, we've got two of these in front of us.
That we do.
What are we gonna do with these?
We're gonna give them away.
We're gonna give them away, right. So there's two prize packs for this one. First prize pack is going to be the stock Kiger 9C with 350 rounds of 9mm. The second package is a little bit more value. So you are gonna be getting the True Precision slide, True Precision barrel, night vision night sights, Swamp Fox Kraken, as well as the whole pistol and 350 rounds for that too. So these two sitting on the table are the actual ones we're giving away. These are the ones that we test fired for the review, which is great for you guys to actually get ones that have had rounds run through them. So these are tried and true from there. Now, we want to thank Anderson for the opportunity for that. We also want to thank our friends over at True Precision for the slide and barrel. We want to thank our friends at Night Vision for the night sights and Swamp Fox for the optic. So to enter, you just go to our website. There'll be a pop-up. You can also check out our social feeds. And like always, there's a secret code for this one.
Secret code!
Secret code will give you 20 extra entries, and that secret code is 9mm Pony. Again, 9mm Pony.
Guys, get in there, get entered, and win one of these awesome pistols. So if I'm entirely honest, when we got these in, I was a bit concerned. Again, with that boxy frame and not having an optics cut, I really wasn't sure. And again, you've seen and you can purchase a lot of setups like this from a number of different companies. You know, this is a very competitive field. I've shot all of them. I honestly, seriously shoot this one the best. So am I a buyer? I really am. And I'm gonna get one of these and I'm gonna trick this thing out and it's gonna be awesome.
Well, you gotta enter to get this one.
I'll get my own.
You know, for me, when I first got it, I had the same feeling. It felt a little boxy. I wasn't 100% sure about it. But now that I think about it more, I would say I'm a buyer because I can trick this out. I can make a Gucci Glock, my first Gucci Glock, because I made a Gucci M&P first because M&Ps are cool and I like M&P. I like M&P better, sorry. I'm not the biggest fan of the Glock platform, but the Glock platform is one of the best platforms out there. So I really do like the what they did with this, and why I'm a buyer is because they took an existing design and turned it in basically a Gen 3.5. Because it's got the best of Gen 5 and it's got the best of Gen 3 and it combined it. So now you've got the most for aftermarket parts, but you also have the ruggedness and the reliability and the accuracy of that Gen 5.
So guys, thanks so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. And let us know, which one do you like better? Do you like the stock one? Do you like the tricked out one? How would you trick it out? What would you do? What parts would you add? We'd love to know.
And make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the little bell for notification. Again, we have that contest going on, so make sure to go down into the description, find the link, it'll be there. It'll also be the pinned link in the comments. So make sure to enter. Again, that code is 9mm Pony. Thanks again for watching and have a great rest of your day.